My state is crossover from happiness to joy. I've been part of a little teaching group. Now, for the last decade, it's been teaching Shakespeare to inmates in the Correctional Institute for Women in Mandaluyong. Ophelia and Juliet and King Lear in the prisons. And these women in orange all pacing the hallway. Alam mo may nangyari na kasi they're mumbling. They're memorizing pala Juliet's balcony one. It was about 35, 36 years of, I received this, oh, I'm happy. I achieved this, I'm happy. There's this level up with the brand, or there was this new project or this big break. Now it's, I got to do this and I have joy. It's not always convenient, it's hard. It takes an effort, it takes a syllabus, it takes logistics, but I come out of that place happier, no longer tired.
John, you were asking me about my age a while ago, right? And we were talking about the phases in your life. I want to know, like, how old do you feel?
Oh. I think right smack dab 59, which is where I
Sakto.
50 sucked. 50 I was fighting pa. Now I'm embracing, ready to be 60 in a couple months.
How would you describe the different decades of your life? So, like, if your 20s was this, 30s was this, 40s, 50s.
I mean, there's a demarcation line. There's a halfway mark between 30s and 40s that the sobriety, the crossover to sobriety happens. So I am been alcohol-free 20 years. So the sober period and then not so sober period.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Phases, of course, there's the young and hungry and aching to leave home, mid-20s to mid-30s. Then there's the nag-home loan at nagka-car loan. Getting in debt, mid-30s to mid-40s. And then, settling down, 40s, 50s. The last 20 years have been really great.
Okay.
Along with the sobriety came love, finding the one.
Love that. We're gonna talk about sobriety later. But I have a question I'm sort of aching to ask. So, nagsimula ka mag-drag or making impersonations very early.
Elementary school.
Yeah. Yet you took economics in UP. Why?
I come from a family of 9 to 5 aunts, uncles, parents. Nobody was in the arts. Not a single performer. They were just architects and doctors and a lot of soldiers, military family. So no one really discouraged me, but there was really no data for me to say, I can make a living out of this. Then halfway through the course, I was having so much fun doing campus theater. I still couldn't cross over to that other building where there was communications and film and theater kasi parang halfway through, kailangan, ang middle class, magtapos ka na kasi mag-aabot ka na. I didn't know how to save those uncredited subjects anymore. So, deep breath. I was never really sure I could make a living out of it. So there's half of me saying, you just enjoy this while you're in school. And then there's the other half na, you did the sumunod sa magulang. I took the course I wanted. You wanted me to take. Maybe I could pursue the acting thing for about a year. In the end, I realized I was overthinking everything. The planets just aligned. And I was mentored well. But I think I applied economics without knowing it. I think doing stand-up in a room of 200 people, you are incentivizing 200 individuals and looking for the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, the intersection of that, for the talent fee for that one quantity of you.
Oh, that was actually my next
That was
question.
demanded.
Tatanungin ko sana kung ano yung natutunan mo in economics and how you apply that in your professional career. And you mentioned price, you mentioned equilibrium,
Quantity, the
quantity,
intersection.
but at what cost?
I think it is a very long conversation. Who do you want me to be? How long and how much? There's a menu of characters The office is
Variable.
yes, depending on the front page content of the day. It's like the oldest profession. Yeah. Who? How long? How much?
Love that. When you came out to your family, which you have mentioned, who has a military background,
Very
um,
Catholic too.
very Catholic, yet you were accepted very openly. And I guess I want to go back in that period in time. Ano yung itsura ng queer culture na yun? Noon, yung time na yun.
Very little conversations about it.
Mhm.
I just well, first doing drag on a stage, they just I just had my parents come in with complimentary tickets. They thought I was a stage manager, and then they saw me on stage. So that was breaking them in number one. Later, it was just bringing someone to the family gatherings. Mm, Konting fingers crossed, konting nervios, but no setup, no exchange. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Very little was said. And then I just sensed that they had so many questions. Their love was bigger than their questions. Now I come to the gatherings alone and they say, oh, nasan siya? They just embraced it with no sentences. Just actions. Spoke louder than words. Oh yes, yes, yes. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed.
Were you ever scared when you were exposing yourself like that to your family?
Yes, mainly for them. Comfort level nila. I was happy eh. I just found them to be really, really uncomfortable. It's a very Catholic, very military family. But things fell into place. And then they realized I wasn't the only one. There was a cousin here, cousin there, and another auntie here from another generation above me who talked about it even less. But they just bring their beloveds to the gatherings and everything just falls into place. After one, Mama June na kayo lahat.
What do you feel like is an understated part about Filipino queer culture?
We are more forgiving. We are not as angry. I think we are not as angry. Might not just be for our community, but for the Pinoy as a whole. We're forgiving. We're more forgiving. You see two ships bump into each other with enemies falling into the water, you offer to help them.
Oo.
Parang ganun. I'd rather err on the side of sad time mabait, sad time forgiving. So, yung pagiging militant and mapagprotesta, for me, figure out ko pa if
Hanggang
we
ngayon?
are as angry as the members of the community in other countries.
Na bilang
Unanswered.
isang Pilipino?
Bilang isang member ng LGBTQIA+, parang kino-compare ko pa how militant we are and how we express when we have mass action, it is in anger.
Is it because
Parang-
medyo bago siya para sa'yo na nung lumalaki ka, hindi naman masyadong aggressive?
Unthinkable. Oo, unthinkable. Na I am still in awe of the things that I can enjoy in my lifetime. I did not expect to walk down an aisle and be proclaimed and be pronounced by an officiant or by a judge. So, in my case, I think I'm a little too grateful that it may have erased all of the bitterness and anger and reset and indignance. Where I'm coming from a place of gratitude at the moment. Also because the last 24 months, I negotiated cancer of my spouse. So anything that comes along, it's not cancer. na, na, nasabihan ka sa social media ng something about what you said about pronouns. Okay, it's not cancer. Or I'm not complaining enough about misgendering. oh, okay, makikinig lang muna ako, but really, it's not cancer. I'm coming from a place of gratitude.
Right,
We were
right.
having end-of-life conversations last year. And cancer-free ang husband ko. So, ang layo. Wala akong masyadong anger buttons lately.
That's beautiful. We recently had Red Oliero in the show. He's a stand-up comedian. And one of the things he said really struck me. Na he says, comedy always comes from a dark place. Do you agree?
Yeah, parang pwede ko itong iiyak. Pero pwede ko rin i-punchline. I laugh so I wouldn't have to cry. Dark place. Very often it can, the levity can come from a place that is not so dark din naman. But I think what is as important to highlight is it's extra luscious when it comes from a place of truth. Parang the boy who said that the emperor really didn't have any clothes and nobody wanted to say it. Nasarap when the comedian takes that role. Tama. But dark, yes. Yes. Kung hindi pa ako natutong magpatawa tungkol sa mitral valve repair at pacemaker and laparoscopic prostatectomy of the last 24 months, multiple surgeries of my husband, I wouldn't be as okay as I am now. Ano bang sinabi ko sa pacemaker niya? Do I charge that at night? Do I turn it on in the morning? If you sunbathe, will you be solar?
It must be hard to, you learn that comedy is sort of a release valve. But when life gets serious, do you always try to remember the values that you've instilled about comedy and theater and how it's an opportunity to heal? Or are you bad
I'm
at
not
taking
as-
your own
Not as
advice?
diligent, and I'm not as aware of that beautiful blessing. I do also get into panic. I also panic for a while and freak out for a while. Then there's the tulala for a while. But it's so temporary because I lucked out on a little tribe of kindred spirits that I can call. Kape-kape. You just need a few. 3, 4, you're okay. At saka swerte ako sa kapatid. So with the family, friends thing, it's available to me. The extra special pa if you have your art. That's what happened with a play I did very recently, Every Brilliant Thing. It was the English version. It became Bawat Bonggang Bagay. It's about this boy who made the list for his mom from age 7 because she kept on ending her life. List of things to live for. Ice cream, halo-halo, to Rubik's Cube, to Charlie's Angels. And it kept on rerunning. And in between the reruns, even the actor, I was changing. I had other things to be grateful for. Now it's cancer-free. And it's very, very rich. It's informing my life the way my life is informing it.
You also said before na comedy is tragedy plus time. And that pag kaya mo ng tawanan, hindi na siguro ganun ka-tragic.
Yeah, but that's the of too soon. Di ba merong too soon?
Yeah.
I'm not always good at it. Sometimes I have foot in mouth.
Right.
A friend was sharing also, but I don't know yet how to process it. Comedy is tragedy in slow motion. Baka you can explain it to me.
Because you get to see their facial reactions when
Tragedy is slow.
something's happening. And I guess maybe the stills of that person about to react to something tragically. There are moments where, parang you're making a face and that's kind of funny. Or the way that you're reacting. Oh.
What kind of comedy do you enjoy?
Ooh.
And why?
That's a good question. Yung sabaw. Yung sabaw. Sobrang sabaw akong tao. And that's why I love Filipino comedy. Medyo absurd, nonsensical. Or no logic. Yung favorite ko comedy. What about you?
Oh, well, it became work. I don't look for it as an audience member. I don't look for it in streamed entertainment. I would not, the closest I got to consuming a comedy show was siguro Modern Family because the last part is always no poignant modern moral lesson, heartfelt. But now I look for to, as an audience member, I look for dramas, TV films. But what did make me laugh? Talagang comedy gold for me is fantastic puns.
Yes.
Puns.
Puns are reliable.
Wordplay. I
Oo.
love wordplay. And uh, I, 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 I have that, but hindi ko naisip yun moment when somebody comes up with it. Good timing. Comedy is surprise. So, ang dami-dami kong friends. Ang bilis to the punchline. Takes you by surprise. Talagang, pero hindi sila yung pang hinaharap sa camera kind of
Oh, can
funny
you
person.
elaborate on
And
that?
Dolphy was saying, Mang Dolphy had a brother who was super duper funny. Yeah, he was funnier than me, but ilagay mo sa harap ng camera, he will freeze. So sometimes you do not have to be as funny as the funny people in our school, in our workplace. Pero you are a dependable performer in front of a camera, being able to service a comedy script. So that is that's how I of late, because I've been lately in a workplace with big groups. I'm in an ensemble production. It's nakakatawa to, pero I wonder what it's like pag sinampa mo siya sa stand-up comedy stage.
So
Diba?
iba-iba eh. Iba-ibang comedy. Totoo.
Parang it's one thing to be a funny person off camera or off stage, but it's also one thing to be a serious person, pero ilagay mo on stage, give him the obligation, be funny, say, do this is the text, this is the content, this is the side effect. He will deliver.
How would you differentiate stand-up with comedy in theater and comedy in camera?
Nervous na ako. So, audience. You have 200 people in Teatrino or Left Line, Punchline in a club. And ideally no phones. Kasi this is the age of remind and be taken out of context. You offend 50%, that's 100 people. But you do comedy in front of millions in a TV show, parang you have to be good at figuring out the best fit for your millions of audiences.
Because you can't read a room when you're filming for TV.
So tricky, but fascinating. But when you don't work alone, you would work with a tribe of seasoned writers who have written for live, who have written for theater, who have written for stand-up. They can pretty much help you temper the nerves, temper the uncertainty, and get the best fit for audience and performer and content. I think I heard that you lose homogeneity when you go to the millions na from like 200 in a club. So, kailangan alam yun ng performer if he wants to sleep well at night. Especially in this age of, I have a problem with that. Oh, that is microaggression. I think I was offended by that. So,
That segs well into my next question, actually. Because I want to know how you personally reconcile comedy's power to entertain with its potential for reflection. Because comedy addresses some pretty serious topics. And with people feeling policed about what they do in their craft, how do you balance entertainment with reflection?
Again, from my experience, I think I lucked out on a good tribe of 3 to 4. Not all communications graduates from from chemistry, from engineering. One is one is a woman, one is a practitioner, but had industrial engineering. This tribe of 5 good souls. Now for 30 years, I've been taking care of the brand. I think we will agree that we will all rather, we would err on the side of, we will defend free speech. And when you thoroughly go through that checklist of who is watching, how many are watching, where is this going to be streamed, where is this going to consume, you can zero in on a good fit of product and consumer. I think icing on the cake for us, we've never really had projects where there was this main agenda na mangaral. Ang nagiging ano talaga is to be value for money. They leave the theater, or they leave the hall, having laughed for 2 hours. We take it upon ourselves. Konting ego rin, konting, oh, yung ganda sana. They take home a little wisdom. Pero magpatawa ko muna the first 98%. Sa huling 2 ka mag-soapbox. Because then, maybe this is bright. Yeah, this is bright. To answer your question also about how it can be used for issues, it's yummy. You are experiencing the serious content here, and then the sandwich is mirth and laughter. Parang it's a nice break from having to consume this in a documentary or in a TED Talk or in a lecture or in a library, which a lot of thinkers do, but a lot of thinkers go to. Pero sarap when you realize na you achieve the same result, the same outcome through a play. Yeah, this play I was talking about, Every Brilliant Thing, I think it's going back to the West End. Naging timely is great, but timeless and timely is even greater. I still get mail from people who said they've made their own lists of things to be thankful for. So, oy! Oh, and so same. It was about suicide. It is filled with content you can absorb through lectures, documentaries, teachers, a psychiatrist, or school, academe. Pero in a play where there's improv and there's monologues and there's role playing. So na-reinforce yung belief ko in the power of storytelling around the campfire. From the beginning set of man, from the inside the caves, all gathered around the
Kwento.
heart.
Oh.
And sabi nila, after you feed your child and you keep her safe, or you keep him safe, the next thing you have to give him is a story every night.
That's
Diba?
beautiful.
So using kwentuhan, storytelling, syempre plus kapag comedy. Multiplied yung blessing of imparting something to naka-entertain ka pa. I think that's where I'm coming from. Pero I don't make it the first agenda. They're going to come out of it having learned from my ruminations on life's true meanings. Di naman. I have very bright audiences. I don't show them who I vote for when I play political characters. We count. This much pink, i-punchline natin. This much dilaw, i-punchline natin. This much red, punchline natin. Lahat sila naka-punchline. Nobody really knows my color. Sometimes even I don't. But their obligation kasi is to be an equal opportunity offender. Punchline everybody. Walang bias, walang agenda. The obligation is to make jokes. Mahalang ticket sa shows. O ang grocery yan eh. Ang gas. You want to take that thing?
About something else than the mundanity of life when people buy a ticket to a show. You've mentioned before how stand-up is comic relief, but theater is long-term healing. Can you elaborate between that?
Our friend shared na sa stand-up comedy experience niya as an audience member, merong effect. But pag nanood siya ng comedy in a play, and he leaves taking home the theme or the message, meron effect and affect. I'm still processing that. Hindi ko masyado pang init na. But I think he's trying to make a distinction also between timely and timeless. We will write tonight's show. Tonight's show is at 9 p.m. We're looking at the newspapers at 9 a.m. By 11 or 12, we have punchlines for the front page. And by afternoon, I'm memorizing. By evening, I'm running through it. Tapos, next weekend, wala na. Wala na. But, a play that can still be very, very funny, pero can remain unchanged.
You embody it also.
Yeah. I lucked out also on very good directors. Of the Venetia, Jenny Amora, who are also very caring of the instrument. They're also mental health advocates. So the quality of the actors will be informs the piece, making me better suited to bring the piece to life. The piece that has been, I keep going back to Baotong Gabake. I'm such a fan. I don't know kung 30 countries, 30 languages. And it was adapted into Filipino with my character falling in love with another boy. In hindi same sex yung original text. And
Love that. Bilang isang chameleon sa craft mo, na maraming ganap, do you ever wish na you could just be doing one thing? Or,
yeah,
for your own piece?
I kept wishing if somebody needed to impersonate me, how will they do it? Sarap naman i-impersonate naman ako. By alignment of the planets, I have been blessed with 2 to 3 years of not being in political impersonation shows. It just happened. We don't know what will happen next year. I think next year's an important year. 40 years ago, it's happened. So are stand-up comics going to give their take about that narrative and the retelling of it and the telling of it and the untelling of it? We'll see. But the last 3-4 years, I've been playing fictional characters like this little boy who's trying to save his mother from herself. And no gowns, no heels, no wigs. Doon sa Drag Race, isa ako sa panel ng judges.
Oo.
I'm in a suit. So I've been enjoying looking like me of late and drawing from here. Not putting on Digong's accent or Sarah's butterfly sleeves or Imelda's hair. For now.
But who is Jon Santos? If Jon Santos now wasn't a chameleon, if there can only be one, who is Jon Santos?
I've always been comfortable with the word storyteller. Storyteller. I've really conquered the stage fright of cocktail parties or new friends or meetings with many people you really do not know. Storyteller, kwentista, mahilig makapagkwentuhan. Kung saan man siguro ako napadpad. Had I been in a bank or in a school or working front of house in a theater company or making sandwiches in a deli. I did that. Storyteller. Good listener, storyteller. Good listener, storyteller. Ideally debt-free. Wala home loans.
Oo.
Car loan.
Or storyteller.
Comfortable. Sakto lang.
Oo. Love
I knew detachment. I discovered detachment.
that.
Din naman.
Okay. So you've opened up about how your mentor, si Tessie Tomas, helped you in your path towards sobriety. And you've been sober for 20 years now, right? Do you feel na nalagpasan mo na yung phase of that life, of your life? Or
Yeah.
tuloy pa rin ang laban?
It's the only thing I couldn't explain except for higher power. Because with cigarettes, I slip into mga pack a year. Ito walang backslide. Walang backslide. So higher power, I will never be arrogant. I will always use the word in recovery. In recovery. Yes, I have so much data about feelings I've hurt and lives I put at risk during those drinking years. That I am sure of. Na, no turning back yun. If I did not have episodes, really big mistakes, would I be enjoying now a life of moderate drinking, enjoying wines I really like? there were some really nice red wines in my journey. Pero, for now, they're like friends you cannot see anymore. Live and let live. Have a nice life. Can't be friends. Because it's not safe with me. No turning back. No turning back.
What's the biggest thing that you learned in, I guess, your journey towards sobriety and recovery?
First two steps. I am powerless over my problem, and that I can only conquer this with the help of the higher power of that I know. Yeah, and the clothes fit better. I have guardian angels. Oh, I think that's the lessons that may take away from having given up alcohol.
You describe Filipino comedy as a reflection of the life we're living in. Ano bang state ng life mo ngayon?
Grateful every day. Grateful every day. Kaya ang bordering on sappy and corny na yung comedy ko. But I can't complain. Can't complain. I again with detachment. I picked that up naman from my very prayerful parents who at 85 are in that part of their roller coaster. Talagang been there, had that, done that, the ups and downs of being the worrying years, will my children turn out okay? Years will I wasn't the only one who did rehab sa aming magkakapatid. But here they are in this zone of mas simple na lahat, mas simple na lahat. It's life in a farm. And we're together. There's a very regular gathering of the three generations. And then we have our own lives in the very regular gathering, three generations. I learned really detachment. I mean, ayoko mag-mention ng names, but I will never be this comedian or that comedian or this big comedy icon in things or this big venue, Pinoy comedy icon, charming the whole world, making waves in Hollywood. That will never be. Like yung West End, Broadway, some things parang that might not be part of my journey, but it's okay. I come home to a husband who loves me. That's fantastic. You know what else I've been doing?
What?
I've been part of a little teaching group.
Oh.
Now, for the last decade, has been teaching Shakespeare to inmates in the Correctional Institute for Women in Mandaluyong.
What's that been like?
Jaw-dropping. There's Ophelia and Juliet and her, and King Lear in the prisons. They would first study it in whatever accent they have. They would study the English text, and then they would study the Filipino text, and they are obligated to translate it in their own provincial dialect to resonate more with them. So it's 2-3 hours every Tuesday. It's 2-3 hours away from hopelessness every Tuesday. And these women in orange all pacing the hallway. Kala mo may nangyari na kasi they're mumbling. They're memorizing pala Juliet's balcony mo. So yeah, to answer your question, my state is crossover from happiness to joy. It was about 35, 36 years of, I received this, oh, I'm happy. I received this, I'm happy. I received this, I'm happy. I achieved this, I'm happy. There's this level up with the brand, or there was this new project or this big break. Now it's, I got to do this and I have joy. I got to do this and I have joy. I had to give this, I have joy. It's not always convenient. It's hard. It takes an effort. It takes a syllabus. It takes logistics. But I come out of that place happier. No longer tired.
Is there a place beyond joy? Because you're now at a point in your life where you're saying na you're sort of 1 foot into retirement and sort of negotiating a new phase in your life in a way. Joy is beautiful, but do you envision a stage beyond that you feel like is something to aspire to pa rin?
I'm okay. I'm okay being present. Sorry, Hallmark card yata. Tomorrow is a mystery. Yesterday is history. Today is a gift. Kaya siya present. Present lang. Actors are very good at being mindful, present. So yung joy, which I am enjoying now more than happiness, is where yung after that, nininervous naman ako. Parang may nuance of the after, may nuance of the afterlife.
No, kasi you also talk
Yeah,
about
but ano,
you also talk about detachment, which I find interesting. Because in mindfulness and meditation,
oh,
the goal is detachment.
yeah.
But I always ask this to people who bring it up. Na, how do you detach and still feel passionate about what you do and feel joy when you're not meant to be attached?
Meron akong love for the audience. Meron akong love for the listeners of the stories that we're sharing. If they get to enjoy that and get to pass it on, even long after we're gone, that's still great. Meaning we can't really stop working. I had this lolo who kept on planting trees. He was already 80. Pag hindi mo naman naabutan yung avocado na yan eh. Eh ano, yung mga apo ko, aabutan nila.
Are you a workaholic?
Used to be.
Okay.
Used to be. I very, very, very rarely turn down work. Because again, with a little staff, they figure out a way of getting every inquiry processed, and kung may ma-figure out. A lot of them are offers to, oh, do what you want, let's mount a show. So that's flexible. Or can we do it this part of the year? Can we do this part of the year? I don't actively look for new open doors. Some people say naging sakit ko yan. I'm magaling ako sa tanggap ng tanggap attitude. But there are big pockets of the year where I'm just traveling or taking care of the medical home leaves of my husband or being with my mom. Of late, I can't say I'm a workaholic. But even then, I had a very full plate, but I was not a seeker. I was not a manager of myself.
Right.
I had managers, really
So
great
artists
managers.
struggle with that.
Yeah, I was represented well. Kaya yata I could take on all of that volume because I'm subcontracted everything. Maaga ako. Even before I had a computer, I negotiated a little arrangement with a young graduate of mass comm to be an assistant. It was what? Early 90s? We were crossing over from, manual typewriters to these beige boxes. Ma-afford ko yun, pero ma-afford ko rin mag-PA. Maaga ako nag-PA and manong driver. So you're really just showing up. You don't worry about the bills or the checks or the forms or the arrangements and then the driving. You just show up. And I was able to take on all of that volume for all of those characters, all of those years.
I feel like you've had so many conversations with your past characters, your past self. I guess, what would you say to your future self now?
Bravo. Well done.
John.
Thank you.